welcome to Evansville Podcast. My name is Jason Burton. Thank you for listening. On today's episode, Mr. Malcolm Cook returns to tell us about the Alhambra Film Festival, the 2017 edition. It will be April 6th through the 9th. Please check that out. Get your tickets now. We talked to Malcolm about previous editions of the film festival and how it will be different this year, what to expect, that kind of thing. Some of the relationships he's made over the past couple of film festivals and some of the film festivals that he's actually attended outside of ours to get ideas, steal the good ideas, and a lot more. So yeah, let's just get into it. Thanks, Malcolm, for coming and talking to us, and hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Yeah, Malcolm.
Hey, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It has, and I apologize for that.
No.
What are they? I've been on location.
That's been on location.
I've been on location.
Yeah, you're taking 5 right now to come talk. The Alhambra Film Festival back again.
Absolutely.
Third year. Crazy.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It is exciting. I'm really getting into it now. Of course I have to, right? It's like 2 months away. I better get going.
It's right around the corner.
It's been pretty terrific. Well, we're lucky. We had a great format. Mm-hmm. The first year we kind of laid out the ground rules of how this thing would work for us. And Evansville is a unique community, so we wanted to make sure we had something that worked for Evansville folks, as well as was still a film festival that was very recognizable in format, and it was. And that went well. The second year, we really focused on sponsors. And this year, I can say we're glad to have more sponsors coming along.
Cool.
And we are focused on now getting people into the seats. We want lots of people. Mm-hmm. I want to be the home show of film festivals.
There you go. I
want people coming in and out of those doors all day long at all times. So that's where our focus is this year. We really want to spread the word, promote, and make sure that we have such a good basis, and the arts community locally, the arts district folks really do know. Well, they know the Alhambra, and it's great, and they're very supportive. But now we need them to tell you've seen those commercials before. You tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. Yeah. We need 50 people all the times telling everyone to go to the film festival.
Right. So if you're hearing this and you've been, tell people, and if you haven't been, show up and tell your friends.
That's exactly right.
Right.
We're a cheap date. Make a great day of it.
It really is a value. I mean, how many movies can you see for the price? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it depends on how you do it, but there's a lot out there, I'm telling you.
I mean, even because a lot of the movies, if not familiar, it's not all feature length movies, right?
No, not at all. In fact, some of the most popular stuff that we see is the shorts blocks.
Sure.
The animated shorts, as well as just the shorts in general. Those are really the most popular.
Yeah, I remember I believe it was the first year that, and I'm probably going to mix up years, but
you're okay. I do that all the time.
That's a lot of movies.
It is.
But
try being me.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine how many you see, because you see all the screeners or everything.
I see a lot. I see a lot. I wouldn't dare say I see them all. Okay. I don't. That's Patrick. That's why he can't be here. He's busy screening films.
Yeah. Back to work, Patrick. Stop listening. But there was a Oscar nominated.
That is correct. Our very first film festival was an Oscar-nominated short, World of Tomorrow.
Right. So I think some people think, this is a local film festival, but it's
even close.
Not.
No, we are international and have been since the very first year. And one thing that I'm very excited about this year that I always pay attention. I don't want to make it sound like I don't, but that's not my role in the film festival as we have it set up. Mm-hmm. That artistic falls to Patrick. He's the artistic director and does a wonderful job of it. So he's really, every film that comes through, every question that's really asked, he either asks me or is doing it himself.
Okay.
And a lot of times I just ask him, I'm like, whatever you need, whatever you want, it's you. So he makes all those decisions. He's seen every film. I, however, get to see the good films. I get to see the, stuff that comes through and makes it at the end. But we have this year returning folks, because remember, this is more of a cycle. A movie doesn't happen, not like we go to work every Monday through Friday and then we get our paycheck in 2 weeks. Movies take years. Mm-hmm. So we are seeing folks that have produced another film from the very first film festival set and are coming back, which is a great thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it does take a while to make a movie.
Even if you can get it done quickly, there's a lot. Probably as long as it takes to shoot a movie, it takes equally the same amount of time to finish and produce that movie.
Right. And I mean, you've had, there have been big names that come through here. And it's just funny because I know that some people that they're not aware of what goes on with it is like,
We're very
no
excited.
idea.
We're very excited.
Yeah.
I said in the beginning, we're just kind of in the right place at the right time. Lightning struck. It did. And we are still, for lack of a better way to describe it, we're getting that value. We're still getting such returns from doing it right the first time. I was lucky enough yesterday to speak at the University of Evansville. I spoke to their retired faculty, and it was nice. The room was crowded. They said it was a well-attended, dinner for them, and that was nice. And they were great. They were absolutely, they asked great questions. They were engaged, and it was nice to just have an audience that I absolutely know that I wouldn't normally have contact with or reach. And they're asking engaging questions. They knew what we were doing. They'd heard of us. They may not have attended, but I had a lot of people ask, how could they help? How could they join? What could they do? And that's that's always been our goal. We want community involvement. We want to get the community inspired. We want that building restored. Now, selfishly, we want to see a theater, but we really want that. We want that building in use because it's the key to the Arts District. It just is the heart of the Arts District. And it's got to be. We've got to do it.
There's nothing like it around.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
Every restaurant, if we were open and operating, every restaurant would have a reason, to. Well, that's not even fair. Reason's not the right word, but would have they become such a destination point for even more people. Our restaurants are busy. The Arts District is really doing wonders. But how much more could they do if people came in to see a film or came in to see a show or comedian or whatever it may be, whether they go to a restaurant or they just go to the bars. But we are a missing component in terms of what's going on in the Arts District right now.
Yeah, and I say that the people that they're very passionate about the Alhambra, and a lot of people have what they think it should be, and it can get heated. I've seen it get heated with people that are talking, but that shows that there is that interest there, I think.
Absolutely. So,
yeah, even if they come to blows. And
I haven't seen that yet, and I've avoided that myself. I know how to sidestep that.
No, I've not seen any fighting yet.
Not yet.
But maybe. But yeah, it's a really cool building, and yeah, I can't wait till something's happening. I mean, I noticed that there was a call for proposals or request for proposals, I guess it's called, here recently. So we'll see. But the film festival is more to raise awareness for the Alhambra, or
we would love to raise funds. We're not there yet.
Gotcha.
But we're definitely raising awareness, and that's what we want to do. I like to tell people, and they kind of confirmed it yesterday. They laughed, but it is true. People can now spell Alhambra, and they can tell you where it's located.
Oh, there you go.
And a lot of people in that room knew because they grew up in Evansville, so it was a smaller community at the time, or perhaps even more an important part because it operated as a theater until 56. So it was actively showing films.
Right.
But these are people who grew up in the neighborhood or area because this was a nice neighborhood at that time. Up until World War II, it was really the neighborhood, this is the kind of high end of Evansville, and then it faced decline after that. But these people knew, so they knew what was going on, but they also knew their students knew what it was about. Their students and except for the fact that they might be going to the bars or to the restaurants in the area, we need people to pay attention. That's why I always like that sign being on.
Oh yeah.
And people notice when it's not.
Yeah. Yes.
So it just kind of goes to show you that people really pay attention to that building. It's a huge anchor. It's a missing opportunity. We need to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I'm one of those that kind of sad when I see the lights not on it, like a First Friday or something.
Absolutely.
But I think most of the time it is on.
It's not on purpose. It really has more to do with the fact that the wires have been tripped and we get in there and try to figure it out.
Yeah, it's in need of repairs. Right. So
and, absolutely.
And the glass ice hitting the glass, that's I
apologize, but
no, I'm saying that's it's not bourbon this time.
No. No, we at the film festival use Tito's.
So that I did want to bring in. They were a sponsor last year.
They were,
and so was Stella.
Correct.
Which I can never pronounce the last part of that. Right.
Stella Artois.
I took French, so you'd think I'd know.
Stella's plenty good. People know what you mean.
Stella, So it's interesting to me. How do you land that big of a sponsor like a Tito's, or because I mean that's a pretty big deal, I think. So
I was told yesterday that I was very engaging and motivated.
Okay.
So I think perhaps that my enthusiasm kind of rubs off. But, again, I told you, it's kind of just being in the right place at the right time. I'm not afraid to ask. All they can do is say no.
All right. Well,
if you don't ask.
If they want to sponsor a podcast.
Well,
Tito, if you're listening.
One thing that we have always tried, and we're trying even more so for the events and opportunities, the structure of the film festival this year, we want more engagement with our sponsors. We want them to receive real value for their sponsorship, bang for the buck. We want them to have a very engaged and involved audience, and we want people to know that they're promoting and sponsoring. We are fortunate that WIKY is signed on this year, and they'll be a major media sponsor for us. And when I say major, they're really going to help. And the promotion, I mean, they have such a reach. It's tremendous, the live audience that they have. I didn't realize how large, and it's very large. And I'm impressed with what they brought to the table. They stepped in. They really want to partner with us. They want to help, and they showed that. So we're proud that they're a headline sponsor this year, and we're thrilled. And it's opportunities like that. We just keep doing what we do it right, do it well, and it grows a little bit every year.
Yeah, man, it's hard to. I don't know if you'd be frustrated or excited. I don't know which is better term for, like, when you see something and you can see the potential, I'm assuming, and then you're like, catch my vision. Catch my vision.
Well, and that's me. I'm very motivated. It was nice last night. I had the opportunity. I spoke yesterday at lunch at U of E, and then last night I was talking to Blackstrap Media, and they have sponsored and produced the trailers for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I talked to him a little bit about what we're up against in terms of budget and how we have to be really tight, et cetera, and so on. Don't have a question. He's like, don't worry about this. We've got this. We have some ideas. We can take care of this. And I'm like, because the first one they produced, people still talk about that. It was The Sign, and we still show it.
Yeah.
And it's catchy. People like it. People get it. And again, it's The Sign. And the second one they did is it had such a big story that they're even able to use that and put that into some trailer. There are film festivals that just show trailers, and they're having some luck with that. So that's kind of neat. But they still want to be a part of it. They still want to be involved. So it's great. It's great. And they definitely see the value and the recognition that they've received from it. So.
Right. So last year, I remember this documentary about this guy that had he'd pranked people or fake.
Oh, The Art of the Prank.
Yeah, The Art of the Prank. And that movie messed with my head.
And they were characters, weren't they?
That dude was there. Yeah, I talked with him. I still don't know if he's real.
Like, and he's kind of as in terms of being known as that hoaxer prankster kind of guy. He's a big deal.
Yeah. So I was like, is this whole movie a prank? Am I being pranked all the time? Am I talking to him?
That little format, what's going on? But if you looked at his stuff, all that movie, I mean, those are real. I mean, he's been doing this for decades.
Yeah. It's
cool.
And I still don't believe him.
It's cool. And they live, I mean, I can't remember where they live, but between here and Nashville. So they were somewhat local.
So it was a local.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But they were leaving us to go to, they were going to L.A. Just getting on the plane.
Sorry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Evansville in April is not too bad. But
no, it kind of works, especially now we're kind of experiencing it.
I don't know. Tomorrow will be snowy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
This is the only place I know of there you can, in 1 week, you get all seasons. Just wait. It's coming.
We've got them all this week.
We created the membership group last year, and for those who want to, you can become a member of the Alhambra Theater Film Festival.
Right.
And we have activities all year round. We want to do more, and one of the things that was brought up yesterday at the university lunch was, could we entail dinner and movie or something along those lines? And we've talked about that. We've never done it, and we have great partnerships with restaurants.
Right.
Sauce has been with us since the very beginning. And we have Amy with Dapper Pig and Tim at Walton's, Elmer and Judy they're coming in. So we have great restaurant partnerships, and Mike at Boca, they have done wonderful stuff for us. So at any point we could get together with one of them, and if we and we've talked to the brew house about just, taking their space on days when they're not open and creating, put a movie in the back and seats and have catered. So we have opportunities to do lots of different things, and we want our members to get that value, not just at the film festival, but during the whole year. So we're working on it. We've got some ideas. We're kicking them around.
Man.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm off location again, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
My ideas are just coming through. I just have to get the execution going.
When the ideas get rolling, it's dangerous time.
Tito's helps.
Tito's it does help get the ideas rolling sometimes. And one thing that has nothing to do with Alhambra, but has changed. You've dropped some weight since the last time you were on the podcast. Not that people can see, but
I have.
But you have, and I know you probably don't want to talk about it. But
no, I have.
It's a legit like. I'm like a full person.
I've lost almost a full person. I've lost now 85 pounds. I just went to the doctor today, so it's official. I'm at 85 down. So.
Man, well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Still doing it.
It's just a bunch of Jenny Craig and CrossFit or what?
You know, life changes and you go, okay, what next? So in my case, it was okay. I'm going to lose weight. And I decided, and it's gone.
That's awesome. I mean, as like I said, it had nothing necessarily to do with the film festival.
I'll take because believe me, now that I've lost the weight, I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh my God, how did I let them get a camera near me?
But just the whole stress of doing one of these festivals, it can't be healthy. I saw something you said on Facebook, like you were awake at like 2 or 3 in the morning doing stuff.
I do that. I can't help that. I've always done that. But yes, it was like, I couldn't sleep 1:30 and I'm like, okay, if I'm not going to sleep, I got lots of stuff I can do. So yes, to my committee, I apologize now because I email, I message, and I'm like, you don't have to respond.
They're like, I forgot to turn my phone off.
Yeah, dang it. I'm sorry if your phone's on because it's going to ding because I'm a stream of consciousness thinker. So when I'm getting it out or doing the idea and I just have to put things out, you may have 5 from me in the morning. And I apologize to my committee. They put up with a lot from me, but it's how I get my work done because, I got promoted at work too. So I have a very thorough job and kind of busy.
You're kind of busy.
A little bit.
Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
So does the committee, does that change? Has it changed over the few years or is it like the same core of people?
I want to say the core group is still there. Now, we certainly have people who ebb and flow in and out. And
Which makes total sense.
Yeah. Well, of the original group that started it, 4 of us, there's only me and Patrick left. But we have a core committee group that's committed to the film festival. And, our heyday is probably the busiest times for us are probably January up until the film festival. Mm-hmm. And we do take a break. We consciously try to take a break, but the reality is it runs all year. We're busy all year.
Because you start accepting films like in December, I want to say. Maybe?
Oh, no.
No, November.
Accepting in September, October.
But
the prep work for that, even to open in October, we start actively meeting for the next film festival. We'll be in August. And if we're going to do activities all year, it's just the way it works. The calendar doesn't change. And we want that. And that's why it's interesting to us that, people are active and want to, and that's thrilling. So, okay, if we have to put in this work and we're 100% volunteer, there's not a paycheck going to anyone. So we put in a lot of hours to make it happen.
And the film festival, it's separate from the actual Alhambra board,
correct.
Right? Okay. So it's its own entity.
Effectively, yes.
Yeah. But probably I would think there's some crossover.
A lot.
Because those Alhambra people seem to care about both sides, right?
Absolutely.
You Alhambra people.
It's a building.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it about
inspiring
some buildings that just...
It's it.
Like the old courthouse and the Alhambra, there's certain buildings here in Evansville that are just...
Absolutely. It's one of those gems. We have to make sure it's totally restored. In whatever shape or fashion, we need it restored and functioning and working within the community.
Yeah. So it's the beginning of April, I want to say...
April 6th
through
9th this year.
I was going to say, okay. So April 6th through 9th.
The way we've structured it, and it's always our intention, it will always be this way, we want to be the first full weekend in April. Now we may go longer, but you'll always know that we start the first full weekend in April. So just set your calendar every year. Just like the Fall Festival is the first full week in October. We are the first weekend in April.
And it's, the premiere night still
Thursday night
at
Showplace.
At Showplace, still
and it's such a good thing for us. I mean, we have a great crowd.
It's red carpet.
It works, baby.
Pictures. Everybody dresses up. Have you seen anything that you're like super excited for people to see?
I can't say yet.
Oh, man.
No, we did do an early acceptance list, but I can't say yet because we haven't announced that final judging list.
Gotcha.
And I will tell you that with so many of our media sponsors are active this year and want to be more involved, that you'll hear a lot from them because I think as we've got judges who do see the films.
Yep.
I think we're going to have a smaller set list of the final judging films that we will let the media folks take a good look at first. And so they'll get to talk about it on the air and to people. So they'll know what's going on. And, that might be worthy of a podcast moment to say, hey, this is your must-see film.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that it's always inspirational because people want to know what it is, what's going on. But if you can say, hey, you got to see this film and here's why. Because I saw it. It's really good.
Because it can be intimidating. You get that booklet.
And it's big. And I realized that after last year, and it was a great book. Yeah. It's a great book, and it looks wonderful, and it's huge.
Right.
It's really big, and there's a lot of information.
And you're like, I don't even
where
know.
do I start?
Well,
and that's why we have that preview party. Mm-hmm. We do that. We did that last year at Old National Bank, and it was great, and people were in there taking notes. So that was kind of cool. I want to see this film because this was this.
Right.
It's where it's at that film event that we learned that Ruxpin's was going to be a really big film.
Yeah.
In terms of what it happened to. And what I love is the part that we get to take in I certainly, let me say this the right way. We would never take any credit for the success of the film. Having said that, Mike Chilson, who put together Ruxpin's, was really just going to show it, and we were in the middle because his dad comes from Vermont and he from Seattle. Mm-hmm. So they kind of just on a lark, the Evansville worked. It was a film festival, so they were going to show that film, and it was kind of done with it. It wasn't going to happen. People loved that film, and it was a great film. If you didn't see it, hopefully you can see it at maybe another event that we have. I don't want to give it away because it's a fun story. Right. But having said that, it was a throwback to Ruxpin's in the 80s and things that we had in the 80s. I think Furby was there and Pee Wee Herman, there were a lot of fun moments and opportunities there. But that film was our most requested because we created an on-demand room. So people wanted to see that.
Great idea, by the way, the on-demand room.
And we're going to do even more with that this year. So that's going to be a good thing.
Because I know schedule-wise there was...
It's hard. You can't see every film based on your...
And then you start hearing the buzz about a certain movie and you're like, oh, that's already... played.
I've missed it. I can't. Or in my time frame, I can't do it. So you're right. You're right. And we were able to accommodate that. But because he had, and I think he won, I can't remember. He did win an award from us last year. I think it might have been director, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember.
But it was great. And he was so excited. He started to enter that film into other film festivals. And he's run all year long. And he wasn't going to do that. He was just done with it. So it's great to be involved. That's the kind of thing that we really take great pride in.
Yeah.
It's exciting. That part is great to me. And he's a good friend. We've stayed in touch and very motivating, very motivating. That's why we do what we do. A big part of it.
Yeah.
But in terms of format changes, we do have some. We're still going to do Thursday night. We started to talk about it. We're going to do Thursday night and that'll be great. And we'll wind up at Boca and that'll be awesome. It always is.
I might show up for that.
Just like we did last year. I remember that. I could be there once or twice. I have a feeling I'll be at most events, so it'll be great. We are also planning on doing a membership and filmmaker event just to start the film festival because we don't show films until Friday. Actually, actively show films, but we're going to do an early, like a brunch for. The filmmakers, the membership group to get involved and probably sponsors, but we want you just kind of break the ice, say thanks, this is what makes it all worthwhile, this is how it happens. But I think we're going to do that. Well, we're going to do it in the Arts District. We just don't exactly know where yet. Have a good idea between two places.
Gotcha.
But they and it's nice to have a couple of people who would like to sponsor that event, so it's nice. But that's going to start our event. That's going to start the film festival for those guys. We'll do the on Friday. We'll show films all day Friday, and then we have a closing party on Friday night, of course. And then on Saturday, again, it's really almost always our biggest public day. So we'll have our public films, and we start early because people do get up early, and we run as long as we can. But this year we're doing it quite a bit different. On Saturday, we're breaking early. We're going to stop showing our last film. We'll kick off at 5:30. Okay. We're going to start a cocktail party at 6:30. And that's going to be our awards banquet. By 7:30, we're going to do the awards banquet Saturday night. We do have our mayor going to help us again, so he'll be speaking.
That guy?
And, he's also been great and supportive of us. But we're going to do that Saturday night. So we're really going to ramp it up and try to do black tie because people do like to dress up and look really pretty for their awards. But we're going to pass the awards out on Saturday night. And then we're going to Casa Finale. Kirk and Sherry Wright have stepped up again, and they're going to sponsor the after party. Okay. So Saturday night looks like a really good big event. which is why on Sunday, we're just going to be on-demand films. We're going to show hopefully the winners.
Yeah.
We know who they are, but we're going to have some on-demand stuff, but a little more casual because we don't know how late people will stay on Saturday night.
Right.
Some people may just roll in and just watch films again, but who knows? Yeah. Who knows? But we'll be ready either way. So, a little more laid back, a little more casual. You don't have to stress. Right. No banquet on Sunday. We're just going to be casual and have some films, and it'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's both years that like the filmmakers that come in, like you mentioned, the guy that come from like Vermont, Seattle combination.
Yeah.
Here. But just having these there was and they'll sit in the room with you when you're watching.
Absolutely.
And then afterwards you can ask questions. Which is, when are you going to get that opportunity, really?
Well, and one of the nicest things that we had in the very first year, you'll remember that we had the guys from the Blair Witch Project, Eduardo Sanchez and Greg Hale, who had a good local connection, but were here, and we had them at the University of Southern Indiana. They spoke to the classes that were in film.
Right.
And, that doesn't exist. It just doesn't happen here much. No. When you don't get that. And these guys, they invented a, if you will, genre, for the lack of a better way, but they invented a whole scenario. Found footage is now a staple in horror movies, and it simply is because of them.
Whether you love it or don't.
Yeah, whether you love it or don't, it was the most effective thing creative at the time, and they just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, that. You can't even replicate that now because of the way the internet is and everything. That was a legit force of nature. That was a phenomenon. Unique thing.
And they were truly an independent film that did exactly what every filmmaker dreams of. You want that word of mouth and groundswell, and that's exactly what it was.
It was, yeah. I remember people were freaking out.
And it was a horror film in which there was no blood, no guts, no gore of any real type, but buddy, was it scary. I remember I was like, wow.
Anytime you have children out of place, that's going to be top of charts right there. It was
super cool. And again, they just invented that. So how creative is that?
Yeah. And I remember last year there was a guy, we watched a movie and he was young. He was probably maybe he had to be in his 20s because I think he was in film school. But we watched the movie and you're like, it was okay. And you talk to him. You're like, oh yeah, I made this movie for $4,000. And you're like,
he was from New Mexico. Yeah. He brought his entire family, and when I say entire family, his immediate family, his parents, his siblings, and they all came in. So there was 10 or 12 of them. They came in. Yeah. We were the first film festival that they got to show at. But he worked in a news station, and he did this on his side and did it for I want to say $5,000. Yeah, but when you look at it from that view, all of a sudden, wow, I can overlook some of those smaller mistakes.
Yeah, because you're like, how? It was like an hour and a half long movie.
Yeah,
how did you do
this? Never do that. Exactly.
So it just changes completely. Whereas if I would have just picked that movie up at, well, I guess I wouldn't have picked it up anywhere. Right, I would have ordered it on or saw it on Netflix, started and went go. Man, that's not good.
That's true.
Yeah, I almost said Blockbuster.
No, you're right.
What year? Time traveling podcast.
You're dating yourself.
Oh man. But yeah, I would have probably stopped out there 5 minutes on Netflix. Right. And just said, whatever.
Right, exactly.
But the story behind it is actually
it's huge.
It makes it way better. And that dude's going to be he's going to be a star because
so creative. I love that. I love that connection. And one of the nicest things, and I hear it again and again and again and again, from all of the filmmakers who attend or are connected, our hospitality. Evansville, truly, we're in Indiana, but we are a southern city in every way, shape, or form. We are just polite and nice and warm.
Sometimes too polite.
Well, we're so good for these people, and they're not used to it. Right. We truly are glad you're here. We're glad you're coming to just help. You're helping us. We're not helping you. You're helping us. Thank you. What else can we do?
Because there are ulterior motives too. Besides the Alhambra, you get these filmmakers down here. They see some of this historic district.
Are you kidding?
And they're like, awesome. Wait, I can probably film here. That kind of thing.
And it is one of my favorite stories. And it is. I'm sorry, I'm pulling way back. I'm see the liquor's
kicking in.
I'm getting comfortable.
This is comfortable time. Story time with Malcolm. Here we go.
No, one of the very first filmmakers that I talked to, and I don't remember if you remember from the first film festival, Primrose, one of the scary movies, and another film, two different types. But her name was Kathleen Davison, and she was calling me And she turned out to be like one of my mentors in the beginning because, you know, it was my ideas and I'm thinking, how's this? What's this? This woman is so unique. She worked with Spielberg.
Oh, okay.
She was an associate director with Spielberg.
Right.
She had been on films with every star you can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Redford she'd worked with. She had credentials that we, again, did not deserve to have at our film festival in Evansville for any reason.
Yeah.
But the first time I spoke to her, we communicated briefly. She'd submitted her film and asked a couple questions. So she had called me because she thought she was submitting to Alhambra in California.
Yeah.
And she was submitting to Alhambra in Evansville, Indiana, in the middle of the country, nowhere connected to where she was. Not in any way, shape, or form. But she had called me and was going to ask for her money back. And she's talking to me, asking how things were going. And we talked for what was an hour and a half. And at the end of the conversation, and at this time I had no clue because I was asking her questions. She was giving me feedback and she was guiding me. And she was great. And we just talked again for an hour and a half, almost like we'd always known each other. And over the course of time, probably in the month leading up to the film festival, I called her several times and she'd guide me, give me advice, everything else. I had no idea until the very end she had met with Kirk and Sherry Wright and she went to the Philharmonic with them. And she told him, she was like, you know, I was going to ask for my money back. But she said, I fell in love with Malcolm. He's just was awesome, inspirational. It was great.
Right.
I had no idea. And this is a person we had no business. And the nice thing about it was that even though she didn't have films to submit in the second year, but we've stayed in touch. She's been on what we would call our advisory board. So if I ever have a technical question or something I need to get through, she's there. She's a resource. And again, look at, you know, that played that 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. You know, she's right there. She knows she could email Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
So if I ever got in a pinch, and you know, I don't know that she did it, but we had a film submitted by Robert Redford's production company in the very first year.
Yeah.
So we were lucky. How it all happened. Well, the nicest thing that came out of that, and we're still struggling is not the right word. Striving might be a better word, but we're still working to keep our Oscar status because we were tapped, if you will. Mm-hmm. Think of like sorority fraternity rush. You know, you get to join the club.
Right.
The Academy liked our list on the first year, liked our list on the second year. So we are
nice.
You know, there's probably 10,000 film festivals out there. Something like that. I've seen the numbers. And 1,000 the Academy looks at, 100 might actually get looked at, asked to submit. And of that, maybe 25, their winners are automatically accepted for the Oscars, meaning that if you win at Heartland does it, Nashville does it, but if you win in their category, whatever it may be, you're automatically on that short list of films that are announced as the nominees. Right. You know, your film festival winner becomes an automatic nominee. So we're in that mix, that crazy mix of and I think our category is probably going to be animation just based on where we seem to have our niche. Yeah. Because look, our first film was an Academy Award nominated, and the most popular film that year was that film in the animated group, but right behind it was the one about the toilet paper. I mean, we have always had animated. Last year, the animated film last year was great, and it won a British Academy Award. So we kind of seem to have animated films as our mix, and I want to keep that going. But it seems that's what it's going to be for us, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned, I think that you'd gone to a few of the film festivals around. It was like the first couple years, maybe you hadn't visited as many, but then
not nearly.
But then now you've gone and seen some more. So is there like, do you pick their brains? Do you like?
Absolutely.
They're good with that? They're like, sort of.
And I think again, it goes to that lucky lightning. However you choose to speak about it. We went to Example Nashville, probably the biggest one that I've been to actively while it was ongoing. I've met with other people, but not just by scheduling, not while their film festival is going on. Nashville runs for almost a month. So after hours, I went to theirs because I could make that happen. Right. Now, I want to tell you, Nashville is Nashville. So celebrities automatically live there anyway. So their red carpet event almost every night. So their film festival, I mean, where we're, effectively $75 gets you into everything you could imagine. You have to pay for every movie you see at Nashville. So if you want to go see 4 films, you're paying, $10 to $15 for every film every day, at any point.
Gotcha.
And so it's far more expensive. I mean, their tickets, where ours is $75, theirs are closer to $2,500 to get everything you want. Big difference. Now, having said that, the only reason I bring that up is because we showed up as guests, and they knew we were coming, and they kind of knew of us and about us, but had never really met us.
Right.
And again, I didn't know who I was meeting, but we go. They knew who we were. They knew what we were. We got into every film. They were so gracious. They treated us probably like I would like to think we treat our people. But the films, the day that we went was after their big announcements and their big party. So the next day was which is where I completely stole the idea, their on-demand films. Yeah. So the winners. Everything was sold out, but we got into every film we wanted to see. There was no issue. We had tickets and were escorted in. But I met their executive director, who, if you can imagine, it runs for a month. It makes millions of dollars. And this guy knows my name. Yeah. And he knew there was a ticket snafu, and he knew exactly who I was. He's like, absolutely not. This is not an issue. And the girl was looking at him. She's like, okay, whatever you want. Dad. It was like this is done, this is done, this is done. So I was like, great. Who are you again? Here I am.
What's going on?
He's like, well, I kind of do some consulting. So we swapped, and we're friends on Facebook. To just a degree of how far you can go with this. Nashville is in cooperation with Chinese film festivals, like 2 or 3.
Wow.
Huge. It's just beyond belief how the opportunities. There's so much that we can do and bring to Evansville for the benefit of, in every shape or fashion. Of course, selfishly, I want it to be for the theater and have it restored. But can you imagine? We have sister cities. Imagine us having a sister option for a film festival with a phenomenal film festival opportunity and all the crossover that goes with that. I mean, Nashville chose a country with 1 billion people. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
and they manage it rather well.
Awesome.
So it's kind of cool.
No dummies.
No.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, we met some of the filmmakers from Nashville that were there for one of the projects last year, and I was just surprised to hear about how big of a industry the movie industry is in Nashville.
It is. Well, and we have that here locally. Now, granted, it's independent, not even close to the same scale, but we're known for faith films and horror films. That seems to be our good mix, our genre, if you will.
Yeah.
So,
which...
Hey, who knows? Yeah,
who knows why, but,
yeah, we have both.
Got to have a balance to the force, right?
Isn't it weird how that works? But anyway, people know of us because our films, well, I'll be fair, B films, they're good B films. I've always said I'm happy to be on the B honor roll. As long as I'm on the strong B honor roll, I'm good. Okay. Everybody can't be on the A honor roll. No. Everybody's not Hollywood. I'll take B.
We're not making La La Land.
I'll take B. Yet. No, I know.
Not yet, at least.
No, not yet. But going back to what you said, Kathleen was one of those who came in, and granted, she's from Hollywood, and she's exposed to something completely different than we are. But she's walking down the street, and she said, if people would move cars, how much would they charge us to, she's thinking permits and doing this math in her head. She's like, how much do they charge to film on your streets, or if we rented people's houses? And I'm like, people would probably just let you do it for free. I'm like, they just kind of would like their house to be in the film. I don't think anybody would charge you anything. So it's context and perspective, and we just need to sometimes think about the opportunities that are out there, because she was serious. Now, it didn't happen because that film didn't happen for her, but it could happen again because she knows that we have some very beautiful, more or less unmolested brick paved streets, First Street being one of them. But there's some lovely Victorians. They're very well restored. They lend themselves well to movie, opportunities, backdrops, et cetera, and so on. So there's opportunity. It can happen. One of my personal goals is to get a film shot here, a real big production film within the first, I want to say 5 years of our film festival. We've got a little bit, we're about halfway there. So I want to see something committed,
Right.
We don't have to wait another 25 years for another league of their own. We can get a named film, or I'll take a TV series, or, there's
Netflix.
A lot of stuff going on now.
We're here.
Gosh, there's so much
they
stuff
have
going
too much
on.
money to...
All the independent producers out there can certainly look at our wonderful layouts and opportunities.
So I'm saying Deadpool 2 could take place in Evansville.
I tried really hard. I worked with those guys. I did. We had, that actress was in one of our films at that time, but I worked really hard. I promoted. I pushed.
Yeah. So tickets are available yet, or can we buy tickets yet?
The Alhambra Theater Film Festival.com.
We'll link it up.
Yay.
In the notes as per usual. But yeah, and you'll be back to talk about something before.
Absolutely.
Before then.
We'll
make
details.
up some kind of something.
We'll break up more Tito's.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. When or Stella, I'm not picky.
I'm a big fan of Stella. I'm more of a beer drinker, but this just seemed appropriate.
No, you gotta. Well, when you're,
I'm supporting all.
Yeah, you gotta spread the wealth, and you gotta compete with people like Zach and Alex.
I threw it out there.
Those guys. So, although to be fair, they didn't bring it. It was Philly Hoops. Mr. Philip Hooper was kindly donated that night, so he's more of the hero than they are.
So. Well, okay. I didn't shout out to Philip, but I'm doing it on my podcast, Philip.
Yeah.
You. Much love, brother.
Which is it?
I brought Tito's though. I brought clear. You brought brown. I brought clear.
He's trying to get us in trouble. That's what that is. No, but thanks. We do appreciate you coming by.
Hey, buddy. I appreciate it. I really do.
Thanks.
I look forward to the next one. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks again to Malcolm for being on the show and telling us about this year's edition of the Alhambra Film Festival. Look forward to that. If you are interested in movies as well, other than the Alhambra Film Festival movies, check out our recent Oscar podcast. I know the Academy Awards was over last weekend, but you can still check out some of the information about those movies if you're interested in them. Joe and Corey, who were on the show giving their predictions, talked a lot about the movies without spoiling anything, so it's a good primer if you're interested in finding out more about some of the more maybe controversial decisions, and you can also see how well they did. So check out that on evansvillepodcast.com, and good job, everybody.